Hello neighbor, I'm Robert Burns, Vice President of the Louisiana Association of Professional Auctioneers, or LALB. Many of you very much enjoyed the differing treatment that we showed you in our last major episode that entailed the difference between the treatment Miss Tessa Steinkamp and Gene Vitos of New Orleans Auction Gallery got versus that of Bobby Manuel, who was brought in for a full-blown hearing over a $25 dresser, never mind all these paintings in New Orleans Auction Gallery and the other problems. I mean, there were consigners that were being not paid. There were company operating expenses being paid out of consignor escrowed funds, and Ms. Steinkamp, the chairman of the LALB, serves as treasurer of that, and yet, as you saw, there was never any kind of disciplinary action taken against anyone with New Orleans Auction Galleries. But boy, Bobby Manuel had that $25 dresser, and he offered to make a full refund, but nevertheless the board spent thousands of dollars to have a full-blown hearing on the matter. Now, if you thought that if you thought that episode was something, wait till you hear the one I'm about to relay to you now. We're going to talk today about an auctioneer named Mark Brister. Mr. Brister, at the September 10th of 2013 LALB meeting, the LALB, after coming from behind closed doors, said, hey, we are going to suspend Mr. Brister's license immediately without a hearing because we need to protect the public, and that's a good measure. They said that there was an arrest of him under suspicion of auctioning stolen goods, and so they said we're going to suspend Mr. Brister's license. Let's taste just one of the nice features of having this video library is we can go back in time. So let's take just a moment to see that September 10th, 2013 suspension of Mr. Brister's license. Here you are.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to suspend Mark Brister's license indefinitely pending the outcome of the judiciary.
I'll second that motion. For health and safety issues, excuse me, for the public. You need to add that to your motion. With regard to safety issues to the public. Yeah, for his arrest pending charges on the sale of stolen goods or the violation of second-hand deed. I'll second that motion.
Mr. Brister?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Ms. Jacobs?
Yes.
Mr. McMillan?
Yes.
Mr. Sims?
Yes.
Ms. Steinkamp?
Yes.
Unanimous.
All right, so you just saw the LALB suspending Mr. Brister's license. Now, quietly, they lifted that suspension sometime after September 10th, 2013, but there were some problems developing. Imagine that. Imagine that. There were some problems that developed. So on November the 5th of 2014, the LALB brings him in, and then they say, look, we got some serious problems here, one of which is he was doing auctions without getting formal written contracts when the amount over $500 in Louisiana under the statute of frauds, you are, and I think that's a UCC provision, you're required to have the contract in writing. He was failing to do so. There was also little other issues about $50,000 in NSF checks that he had written. There was a bank called Cross Keys Bank for which he had auctioned off a man lift. The bank had made it clear to him by way of an email that they had to have $3,000. That was the amount that was required to pay off the UCC1 filing, which they did supply to the LALB. Nevertheless, Mr. Brister had a high bid of $900 on the man lift, which he went ahead and sold to an innocent party named Mr. Hauser. Mr. Hauser, and let me just say this, Mark Brister openly wondered why Mr. Hauser would have any kind of complaint to file against the board. And Ms. Steinkamp did politely remind him that, look, Mr. Hauser was looking at being sued by Cross Keys Bank. And so during that, Mr. Brister kind of paid LAPA a compliment and said, gee, word gets out to West Monroe and back 2 weeks before he can even find out that his license has been suspended. We certainly appreciate the compliment, Mr. Brister. So let's take a quick breakaway to see Mr. Brister openly questioning why Mr. Hauser would have reason to file a complaint, and also the little compliment that he paid us. Let's take just a moment to see that. That was at the November 5th, 2014 meeting. Here you are.
with the, lift, the bond. Where
They
it's
have
at right now.
they have not contacted me at
So
all.
Mr. Howe still has the lift.
As far as I know, I never did really know why he had a complaint with the auctioneer board myself, but,
Because he's about to get sued.
actually, word travels faster from Baton Rouge, West Monroe, and back faster than high-speed internet. I don't understand that, but it does. But there was people in West Monroe who knew 2 weeks that my license had been suspended before I even knew it. And sent me emails saying it was on the internet and all this bad, but
All right, now a little bit later in that November 5th, 2014 meeting, Mr. Brister got a little bit testy about Ms. Dow's line of inquiry that he had filed bankruptcy literally the day before the meeting, or 2 days before the meeting. He said that somebody must have called. I would assume that would be one of those North Louisiana auctioneers that perhaps aren't real pleased, at some of the goings on that taint the whole industry, and you can't blame them. He got a little testy at that. So let's take a moment to just have a brief clip about Mr. Brister, wanting to know how Ms. Dow found out he filed bankruptcy. Let's take a quick look at that clip.
I saw in public records that he filed bankruptcy on Monday.
you saw that or someone called you and told you
No,
that?
I actually saw it on a report I get from the Western District.
Okay. Because my lawyer was under the understanding that you told him someone had called in and told you that.
No, I looked it up.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Okay.
All right, so you've just seen Mr. Brister not being very pleased with Ms. Dow hammering about his bankruptcy filing. So what did the board do about all this? Okay, we're talking about November 5th, 2014. This is some 14 months after they had initially suspended his license under the premise that he may be auctioning stolen goods. At least that's what Ms. Dow said in the video regarding his arrest. The board said, all right, we're going to suspend your license for 6 months. All right, for 6 months you're not going to be permitted to be an auctioneer. However, we take sympathy upon you because we know auctioneer is your trade and whatnot, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to allow you to have a business license, all right? However, you're going to have another auctioneer calling the auctions for you. Well, Mr. Brister said that wasn't going to work, okay? By the way, there was also a $2,500 fine. Mr. Brister said that wasn't going to work. So let's just take a quick little gander to see Mr. Brister saying, look, thanks, but no thanks on your offer to keep me in business under the stipulation that I have a business license with some other auctioneer operating under me. Again, this is November 5th, 2014. Here's Mr. Brister's reaction to the board's proposal.
Well, that pretty much puts me out of business because there's nobody that can come auction for me to pay my bills that can get it done.
And Jimmy did say the fine would be paid in 1 year. You wouldn't have to pay right away. You have a year to pay that fine.
I won't be operating under an auction house license.
It's not an auction house, it's your LLC.
Well, or with another auction.
That's your problem.
That's your call.
Right. Well, it'll just put me further.
I second
No.
it. I'll second it.
All right, you saw Mr. Brister's reaction, but apparently he must have thought about it a little later and decided, hey, maybe I better take them up on this. And the reason I say that is that our next episode with Mr. Brister entail what I call the Jimmy Swaggart episode. And that would be January 13th of 2015. During that, Mr. Brister decided he'd be better off bringing his attorney to give a little bit more polished presentation. A gentleman named Dion showed up, and this is at the January 13, 2015 meeting, some 6 months ago from the day I'm filming this. And let's just take a moment to watch the smooth presentation of Dion, his attorney, and also said to be a longtime associate of Anna Dow from way back when. This is Dion saying that, gee, it's really critical that it be Mr. Brister behind that auction stand. Let's take a look.
My name is Dion Young, attorney in West Monroe. He needs to, and our biggest problem is he's got a lot tied up in the business, and he's losing vendors, he's losing buyers because he's not on the auction. He's not up there doing it. And I know, I've always thought, okay, you have one guy up there, he has a cadence, and I didn't learn about this until several months ago. But some auctioneers do better than others, and like the better way, Mark does a good job. He's good at getting people to buy, and he's good at getting settlers in to settle at this location. But if he's not up there, he's not able to make that happen.
All right, and I said I call this the Jimmy Swaggart moment because if you'll remember in 1988, Jimmy Swaggart, a very prominent televangelist here in Baton Rouge, had a little bit of a problem, and the National Assemblies of God said that we're going to defrock you for 1 year. But Jimmy Swaggart said, and everybody will remember the tearful statement that it's got to be me behind the pulpit. All right, there are other pastors at Family Worship Center of the church. He said, but it's got to be me behind the pulpit. Very similarly, Mr. Brister says, yeah, y'all said I could have other auctioneers. No, you don't understand. It's got to be me. All right. So let's take a look at Mr. Brister. And I want to emphasize something. During this little spiel, Mr. Brister says, Dion didn't mention it. I will. Got the opportunity to make $1 million overnight. Let's take a look, folks. But it's all contingent upon you putting me back behind that auctioneer stand. Let's take a look. Here's Mr. Brister, January the 13th, 2015. Let's take a look at the Jimmy Swaggart appeal.
If I don't get back on the stand, it's just plain and simple. I've laid all my workers off. If I don't get back on the stand after, I'm going to say about 2 weeks, not only am I going to lose my auction, everything I own, my mother is losing everything she owns. She's operating on $400 a month. And it's going to take me to keep her going.
Who's calling your auction?
Richard Thompson. If I don't get back on the stand and get some sellers in there, I'll be completely out of business in the next 2 weeks. Dion didn't mention it. I will. I've had an opportunity to come along in the last month, just out of the blue. It could probably make me an instant millionaire overnight. But it can't happen unless I'm on the auction stand.
All right, you've seen the Jimmy Swaggart appeal from Mr. Brister saying, hey, it's got to be me. And do you know, when he made that statement that, hey, I have an opportunity to make $1 million, literally overnight, do you know you got, 6, 7 board members sitting up there? Look, there are plenty of auctioneers out there. Well, I don't say there are plenty. There are some auctioneers in the state of Louisiana who are millionaires. We know that. But I can safely tell you they did it the old-fashioned way. They earned it, and it didn't happen overnight. Yet this board sat and heard the equivalent of Jimmy Swaggart saying that, put me behind the pulpit because I've got an opportunity to make $1 million overnight. But I can't do it without that auction license. Now, never mind that he had been suspended for, belief of stolen goods. Never mind that there was $50,000 in NSF checks. Never mind that he had filed bankruptcy. Never mind that he had ignored Cross Keys' reserve and went ahead and sold a man lift to an innocent man who was being, Mr. Hauser, who was threatened to be sued by Cross Keys Bank. What does the board do? Well, first of all, let's get one thing clear. As long as the Louisiana Auctioneer License Board can get its mafia cut, they'll go forward. So let's take a look. So they say, all right, here's the deal. We're going to boost your fine from $2,500 to $4,000. Let's take a brief look at that little episode.
It would have to be a tit for tat. I mean, if we let you go back into business, then we have to impose a fine. Understand that, but I mean, I don't think you can just say, all right, well, we're going to forgive you. That's it. Because everybody's going to be coming out here and say, they have to, they have to, and they come back. I mean, you have to agree to an additional fine, pay it over time if he's back in business, and I think his lawyer said that.
Back in business, yes.
Now, I think you got to have something that if anybody looks at it, you can say, well, I mean, it's like a tit for tat. Yes, they did lift part of the imposition of him not working, but they put a fine in place. That would be the only thing that I would, well, I mean, I think I would increase it another $1,500.
Miss Jacobs,
Give him time to pay it.
I got no problem with that whatsoever. If I got, say, the same amount of time as I had to pay the
Yeah,
2,500.
absolutely, yeah.
So if you're gonna increase it, so now it's gonna be
I mean,
$4,000.
payable on time.
$4,000 wouldn't be near as bad on me as me not being able to.
But I think that
So now you've seen, as long as the LALB gets an additional $1,500, it helps them in doing things like facilitating things like Ms. Edmonds' payroll fraud. You see, you got to have money to do that sort of thing. And so they said, hey, as long as you boost your fine, you're okay with boosting that fine from $2,500 to $4,000, we're going to let you back out there auctioning, all right? Not only that, they went and said, they directed Miss Edmonds to go to the office and print him out a license immediately. All right? Print out a license immediately. We want this man back behind the stand ASAP. All right? So Mr. Brister goes back out there and gets behind the auction stand. LALB is given him the blessing. Get back behind the auction stand. Let's take a look at July 7th, 2015. All of a sudden, Mr. Brister with this $1 million opportunity, he's going AWOL. Nobody can find him. Okay, LALB is trying, they've got their investigator out there looking for him. Probably maybe an indication there may be some problems that may have developed. LALB goes into executive session to discuss this sort of thing. So who knows? You know, they'll sweep as much stuff under the rug as they can. You know, but all we know is we're going to show you the video here, July 7th, 2015. They done turned him back loose back out there, you know, and now they're saying, hey, we're going to have to suspend his license again because he's not responding to us. Nobody can find him. Nobody knows where he is. So let's take a look at the July 7th, 2015 board meeting discussion of Mr. Mark Brister.
Bring the board's attention that Mr. Mark Brister, out of the auction, who was under probation from this board, pending a hearing that occurred last year, has not provided the board with a current address. We do not know presently of his whereabouts. We do not believe that he is actually auctioning anything at this time, but just so that you know, it is required of every auctioneer or auction to notify the board that the change of address within 30 days of that change. It is clear to us from our investigation that Brister changed his address more than 30 days ago and has refused to give us this information. He has not responded to telephone calls and correspondence, which was returned as no correct address. We request that because he's right now on probation from the board, that his license be suspended pending that information being received.
I move that, I would like to make a motion that his license be suspended indefinitely until such time as he presents himself with the proper information. His whereabouts.
Second.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
All right.
No, nays.
All right, that ought to pretty well tell you how this board handles things. You can